which games actually use the additional power of the Quest 3. Today I've got a list for you showing the best visually updated games on the Quest 3 so you can get the most out of the headset. Let's check it out right now. First up, let's talk about Resist. Resist is an awesome swinging, shooting robot combat game with an open world. It was a surprise hit when it came out. It's a fantastic game, and now not only is it fantastic and fun to play, it might be one of the most visually stunning games on the Quest 3 as well. The Quest 3 update brought things like reflective puddles, and it totally revamped the reflection system on the buildings as you're swinging around, the sky, and the sea getting an update as well. There's particle effects. It just had a massive visual overhaul that took the game from looking good on Quest to looking stellar on Quest. I think it's one of the most underrated, visually stunning games on the Quest 3, which is why I have it first on this list. Not only is it one of my favorite games on Quest because it's so much fun to play, it's also visually delicious. And I think that you would agree, just looking at this footage, it's so good. If you haven't played it, highly recommend playing Resist, especially since it's just stunningly beautiful on Quest 3. Next, Eye of the Temple. Now, if you've not played this game, it's a really cool room scale game where you actually physically walk around in your space after you set it up. It's a blast to play, makes you feel like Indiana Jones, but now with the Quest 3 updates, it is even better. It's actually got real-time shadows in the world, which, as you can see, look fantastic, and they add so much life to the world. It's also got a higher frame rate at 90 frames per second. Eye of the Temple is a must play if you have the room to play it. It's just so good. Next up is Barbaria. Now, I've talked about this game being a kind of underrated game, and it's even more underrated now with its Quest 3 update. Now, keep in mind when I say now, I'm not saying that these launched recently. Most of these have been out for a while, but it's not super publicized, and a lot of people don't necessarily know what games are updated. So this game actually has real-time shadows, as you can see. The enemies have real-time shadows. The buildings have real-time shadows. There's a higher resolution textures. It seems like the characters are a totally different style. I mean, like they look better. I don't know. It doesn't specifically say. I like when trailers actually say in them what's been updated instead of just looking, but you can tell by looking that it's got a lot of updates. All the character models are better. You can tell by looking at them. Overall, oh yeah, the characters themselves, you actually have a real-time shadow. Overall, it's already a fun game, but the update just makes it even better, just like all the games on this list. Now, I've talked about Stride Fates several times. This is the single-player Stride game on the Quest platform with a single-player story, and I enjoyed the game anyways, and I thought it looked really good on Quest 2, to the point where I actually thought that it was updated for Quest 3 already. Now, though, with the Quest 3 updates, you can tell there's quite a big difference. Real-time shadows, higher resolution, an overall more living, breathing world. The lighting effects are better, and you can actually see lighting on the environment. I'm not going to belabor the point, just say that this just looks really good, because it's not showing a lot in the trailer. But it looks really good anyways, especially in the headset. Trust me, it's really fun. Hubris is another game that looked pretty good on Quest. They dumbed it way down. It looks fantastic on PC. They dumbed it way down on Quest 2, obviously. They had to. And even though it doesn't look as good as PC, you can tell there is a huge difference in the resolution and the clarity and just everything. Look at the massive bump in difference in this. It is surprising. This is one of the most recent games on this list. It's also one of the most recent to get a Quest 3 update. This has gotten a lot of updates, especially on Buddy. You can see the fur on his body now, and it looks so much better. I wish that they would have done a little more. Like, I don't know if it's even possible. They did enhanced textures on the hands and the weapons. It's got a resolution bump overall. The one thing I think missing in this game is shadow. I wish desperately that there was real-time shadows. Now, I know that that's probably not possible with all the amount of Freds or zombies in this game, but it just would have been really cool to have real-time shadows. They did update the zombies to make them look even better, and more visual effects for the gore and fire and all that stuff. It looks better. And it's really awesome, and it definitely looks better than it did. I'm missing those real-time shadows. I wish that it had that. Now, I can't mention updates without mentioning Red Matter 2. You've probably already played this, or seen it at least, because it is the biggest showpiece for Quest 3, in my opinion. It is so good. It's teetering on ridiculous how good this looks on Quest 3. Real-time shadows, such high resolution and texture that it's unbelievable. You have to really see it in headset to believe it. It does look as good as they're making it look in this video, this showcase. It was used to really showcase what the Quest 3 can do, and it blows me away every time I play this game on Quest 3. It is really, really amazing. Just trust me. If you haven't played Red Matter 2, it's a really good puzzle game with some eerie stuff going on. It's not like a horror game, although it's kind of creepy in spots. There's nothing like going to jump scare you. But it is so fun to play through and see how good it looks. If nothing else, it looks like a fantastic showpiece. Just to buy it for that. Into the Radius, in my opinion, is another showcase. This launched very quickly, or might have been right with Quest 3 launch, and I played it on the channel a while back, so I'm not going to talk a whole bunch about it, except for the fact that it looks extremely good in comparison to Quest 2. Real-time shadows, the environment has shadows, the resolution has a massive bump. You can see how much more clarity there is in the textures. I'm not gonna lie. Real-time shadows change everything, and this does it stunningly. It's such a fun and creepy game, and it looks fantastic too. The Light Brigade is an interesting beast because they didn't just update it with one graphics setting, they actually made it so you have options. The Light Brigade is a really fun roguelike game, and it was really good to begin with, but the graphic updates are really cool in this one because they actually give you options. They have a quality mode that actually adds shadows, lighting, and shading, and LOD quality, which is the distance and quality of what you're seeing in the distance, which, because it was so taxing previously, there was not a lot of great LOD distance. There's a lot of pop-in. But now with the Quest 3, it is a lot farther away, so you can see a lot more in the distance. Not only is it you see a lot more, but it's a lot clearer too. Plus, you add in the fact that there's shadows on the quality mode, and it makes the world feel more alive and creepy, and it's a really cool, fun game. Plus, they did add a mixed reality game mode. I'm not really mentioning that in this, but I'll just mention that quickly because I think a lot of people forget about that. Again, it's another roguelike game. It's probably one of my favorite roguelike games out there because of how well that the game plays and how much fun it is. And there you have it. Again, another game I can't really not mention is The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, Chapter 1. That has been updated as well. This trailer doesn't specifically say, I don't think, what's been updated, but things like textures, resolution, things like the amount of zombies, the way the environments are populated with foliage and stuff, and the guns and the hands and all that stuff's been updated, and it looks a lot different. It's hard to tell in this video. I mean, you can see it. There's no comparison because it's literally just showing what the game looks like for Quest 3 instead of comparing it to Quest 2 and Quest 3. All right, so next up, Floor Plan 2 got a pretty heavy graphics update, adding in 4K textures to start. Not only that, it actually added in a lot more than that too. There's improved materials in the world, making it look even better. Also, it has a higher frame rate now. Quest 2 still has 80, and then Quest 3 is now up to 90 frames per second, which just makes it even more buttery. This is the resolution bump. 5x zoom here shows a 90% higher resolution. It is incredibly different. Plus more environmental detail with foliage and rocks and all that stuff on Quest 3. It just makes the world feel more alive. And it has improved shading, which you can see adds a lot of detail as well. Just an overall really good graphical update for Quest 3. And if you haven't played it, this is a great puzzle game. Breachers also got a really impressive update as well. It's called the Vibrant Visual Update, and added in things like baked lighting and stuff that doesn't affect how people play the game. So like you're seeing, so there's more foliage and things look better visually on Quest 3, and then you can also see the PSVR 2 and PC as well. But they did not change things so that they were unfair from a competitive standpoint, which I really think is good. But you can see they've added in baked lighting and particles, which looks really, really good. Way better. All the things in the game look just fantastic. I'm not sure about resolution and LOD and all that stuff. I don't think that they did anything with that as far as I know, or at least not much, because they wanted to keep the game parity fair across everything. They just kind of made things more alive on Quest 3, which I'm happy with. I think that looks really good, and I understand wanting to make sure that the game is fair across all levels. The seventh guest also got an update. I couldn't really find any videos to show this, and I haven't had the time to actually jump in and play the game again since the Quest 3 update, but the game is a lot of fun. It's a remake of the original The Seventh Guest, and it uses some really cool capture technology for the characters, and apparently that's really what's been updated, along with, I think, resolution in The Seventh Guest. So it has some updates. You're just seeing the trailer here for the actual game. If you haven't played it again, it's a really cool puzzle game based on the Seventh Guest game from ages ago. And the capture of the characters in this game, the ghosts, is such a treat to watch live actors play. It's just really, really fun to watch. Couple more left here. We've got Guardians Frontline got a pretty heavy, significant update as well. This launched with Quest 3, I believe, so it's been out for quite some time, but there's a big difference you can see from left to right. We've talked about it a lot on the channel before. I'm not gonna, make a big deal out of it because there's a lot of videos out on it. It's been out for a while, but you can see there's a big difference between the resolution and the world, how much is in the world and how alive it is, the shadows, textures, all that stuff. Common thing that's happened theme in this video, shadows and reflections. It looks really good anyways, so if you like a space Halo type co-op shooter, you'll enjoy Guardians, I think, and it looks good now too. Aspire 2, another game that is really fun to play. This is the difference between the Quest 3 and the Quest 2. You're getting things like lighting, particle effects, resolution updates. It looks really good. I played quite a bit of this on Quest 3 because I really enjoy this game. To check it out. Plus, I am the voice in the mixed reality campaign, pimping myself out again here a little bit. And the game is just so much fun. And the mixed reality game's fun too, if you have not played that as well. But the visuals in this are really good for Quest 3 now as well. As you can see on screen, there's a lot of particles. It just makes the world look more alive. The last one on the list is Golf Plus. This is a short teaser clip that they released a long time ago that it just showcases what the difference is between Quest 2 and Quest 3. It's a big difference for Golf Plus, and I've enjoyed playing golf even more with this update. There you go. Those are the games that have had the most or best visual updates for the Quest 3 in my digging and from what I've experienced. But maybe you have ones that were not on this list. Let me know down in the comments so other people can find them as well. Type the name of the game in and maybe what the update included or something so that people know why it's visually better on the Quest 3. I'd be curious to see it as well. And out of this list, which game are you either most excited to check out now that you know it's been visually updated, or has impressed you the most on the Quest 3? Let us all know that in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Quest and VR content, and as always, happy questing.